Hello and welcome to Richmond TV's Community Focus. I'm your host, Jason Robbins. We have a great show lined up for you today. We have Jim Goetzinger, Director of Richmond Department of Public Works, and we also have a look back at one of our past interviews with Caitlyn Gordon in the Miss Richmond Pageant. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Richmond TV's Community Focus. With me now is Jim Goetzinger, the director. I will get this.
The DPW Director.
Department of Public Works. I'm so used to saying DPW that trying to say Department of Public Works. Okay. Hello and welcome back to Richmond TV's Community Focus. My guest now is Jim Goetzinger, Director of the City of Richmond Department of Public Works. How you doing today,
Hey, Jason.
Jim?
Good.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So what are some projects coming up for the near future for DPW?
This spring we have a few projects going on. We have Karen Street, which is a mill and overlay. Essentially, we're taking off some of the pavement on Karen Street and putting it back. And on Park Street, from Main to Forest, we're actually doing a complete reconstruct. So that road will be closed for a couple weeks while we actually tear out all the pavement, do some utility improvements, and then put curb and gutter in.
Now, is it a process every year that you go through and you look at areas that need to be done and try to fix the areas that are on your to-do list throughout every year?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as far as part of our asset management plan, we do evaluate the roads every 3 years in the whole city, and then we do look every year to see what roads need work and would fit certain criteria that it's cost effective. So we don't always want to do a complete reconstruct. Sometimes you want to do what we call preventative maintenance, which is a mill and overlay like we're doing on Karen, or crack sealing and patching. We do that.
Did you do any mill and overlay last year that you give example of how?
Our project last year was Park Street from Main to Ridge. We actually did a mill and overlay of Park Street last year, so that's a good example.
You did a reconstruction of Pound.
In 2016, we had a complete reconstruct of Pound Road, but that was a lot of utility work as well, so that was a pretty big project for the city. Okay,
so but for Karen Street, it's going to be a lot like that, only less utility work?
Karen Street will be like Park Street as far as it's a mill and overlay, and then that one block of Park Street, no problem, will be like Pound Road, except much smaller project,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then just to, in case anybody's wondering, MDOT did what's called a microsurface last summer, fall, which was a little bit inconvenient for our residents, and they have to finish that project this year. It's nothing related to the city, but we would expect this spring they'll be wrapping that up. And then looking a little further ahead, Division Road, we're going to do a mill and overlay in 2019. So a little over a year from now, we're going to do end-to-end rebuild that road too, or mill and overlay.
Okay, so we still got plenty of winter, plenty left in winter to go. We just had a couple of big snowfalls. What are some things that you can tell the public that they need to do in order to make your lives a little bit easier?
Every storm is different, so it's hard to say exactly what to do for every storm, but our ordinances require no on-street parking overnight in the winter, but the reality is it snows any time in the day, and we're out plowing as soon as it starts snowing. So we always encourage residents to try to park off-street, not along the curb line, but in a driveway or in a parking lot when possible, because it really, it's safer for them and it's safer for our guys if they're out of the way, if you will, and it helps us to be more efficient with what we're doing. Kind of along those lines, we've gotten a lot of snow recently, like you mentioned, and we do encourage what we call adopt a hydrant in town, where we ask residents to, if you have a hydrant in front of your house, to while you're shoveling your sidewalk or your driveway, consider shoveling around that fire hydrant and then shovel a path out to the road, because you never know if they need that hydrant in the winter. The last thing you want to do is have them waste minutes or seconds to clean around that hydrant just so they can get the caps off and start getting water out of it if there's a fire. And similarly, we do the same with catch basins, adopt a catch basin, and a day like today where we've had a lot of snow and now it's warm, we tend to get a lot of water that builds up in the road, and if the catch basin's blocked with snow, it's hard for that to clear the road, and then a lot of times it'll freeze at night, which is dangerous. So once the snow is done and the roads are clear and it's safe, a resident knows better than anybody else where that catch basin is in front of their house, and so we also encourage residents to do that. There's a lot of catch basins and a lot of hydrants in town, and it's a huge service to the city if residents kind of adopt those in front of their property and help the DPW take care of that.
Okay. Now, there was another notice that I saw going around about having some sewer issues.
Yeah, you know, the DPW handles the majority of the city's infrastructure and properties as far as maintenance goes, and so we interact quite often with the public, and we certainly encourage residents to call if they have questions, and we appreciate if they give us heads up. They're really our eyes, because there's only a handful of us, and so when little things like potholes, even people call in, we appreciate that. Or if they see potentially like a water main break, a lot of times residents will call and say, hey, I saw this, it may be nothing, but if you could look at it, which we really appreciate. But the most common, I guess, question or misunderstanding, it's a little confusing for residents, has to do with who owns a utility as far as going directly to your house. And most residents don't think about that until there's a problem. And so in the city of Richmond, if you live on a public street, any utility, we're responsible for all the infrastructure within the right-of-way. So generally speaking, that would be from one sidewalk to the sidewalk on the other side of the road. So the entire road and the sidewalks are the city's responsibility, and that includes all the utilities in them. So a water main, a sewer main would be in that right-of-way, and the individual service or lead that would go to a house, we're responsible up until that right-of-way line. And we get a lot of calls, unfortunately too late, where a resident will call and say, you know, I called the plumber because I had a sewer backup, and they came out, and $800 later, they told them that it was the city's responsibility. So we always encourage residents to call us first. If you suspect that there's a problem between your house and the road, and either your sewer or your water service, so you got what you believe is maybe a water leak or your sewer's not running right, we always encourage people to call us first. It's no cost, or I guess no additional cost, because you pay for that with your water and sewer bill. So you're already paying for that service. You might as well use it. We'll come out, we will investigate and see. If it's our fault, certainly we're going to fix it. And if it's not our fault, at least we'll tell you or give you some input that may help you and guide you, because many residents don't exactly understand the procedures and what to look for and what to fix. So that's a big issue, and we're always here to help.
Is there anything else you'd like to bring up?
Only that, you know, the city's website was recently updated, and on it, before it was updated and still now, we do have a few flyers that we've created, public informational flyers that kind of address a lot of the common questions that we received, some of the things we talked about. And if you go to the city's website, and if you go to the Department of Public Works, they're all listed on that page at the bottom of the page.
So if someone were to call, want to get a hold of you to tell you that there's a pothole, would they call city offices, or would they call the DPW offices?
It's best to call directly to the DPW, which is 727-7575, and somebody will answer the phone, and we'll do our best to respond quickly. And generally, we're able to do that. Unless there's some other emergency going on, we make sure to prioritize certain complaints or concerns that we receive from residents. And one last thing, as far as the flyers go, there's a service that you can sign up on the city's website called Notify Me. I'm sure I brought this up before, but
it's always good to bring it up
yeah,
again.
so one way to really reach residents quickly and easily is through this service. It's free. You get a text or an email. And as far as how it relates to DPW, if you sign up, we do hydrant flushing a couple times a year, so you'll get a text that says we're flushing hydrants, because oftentimes that just disturbs the water system, and you'll get kind of a rusty water color sometimes. So by giving a heads up, residents know not to do their laundry, say at the times that we're working, and if there's a snow emergency, you get a text and stuff like that. So including road closures for various reasons, construction or otherwise. But yeah, we encourage that. So please go to the website and read the flyers, just so you know, and help you to learn, and certainly call us if you have any questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jim, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
You can go to www.cityofrichmond.net and click on the link for the Department of Public Works, and you can get any information that you need there. And also, once again, as Jim has stated, you can always click on the Notify Me link, and that will give you notifications via text and email for any emergency or any situations going on in the city that would possibly cause any kind of disruption. You can also call 586-727-7575 to call the DPW offices directly to let them know of anything you see around town that they can get into really quick. Welcome back to Richmond TV's Community Focus. I'm here with Caitlyn Gordon now to talk about the Miss Richmond pageant. How you doing today, Caitlyn?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Now, originally we had Laura Ottenbacher scheduled to come on, but it seems like she ended up giving birth to her baby boy, correct?
Yes, our wonderful pageant director, Laura Ottenbacher, just gave birth to her third baby, a beautiful, healthy baby boy.
Awesome. Just want to say to Laura and her family, congratulations from everyone at Richmond TV. So, now we got that out of the way.
Yes.
So, the Miss Richmond pageant's on Sunday, March 11th, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so how many contestants do we have this year?
Right now we're looking between 7 and 10. The girls still have time to get in deadline, so even girls that didn't come to any of the informational meetings, they still have time to go on to the Richmond Facebook page or richmondgoodoldays.org to get the information for it still, and the turn-in date isn't until, I believe, the 29th of this month, where they turn into Rick's shop in town.
Okay, so any big spectacles planned for this year?
We're always trying to do bigger and better things than the year before. I think that's Laura's goal every year, is to kind of try something different that we didn't do the year before that makes it a little more exciting, gets more girls interested in it. We're bringing back the scholarship again, which is always a great incentive for the young ladies when they're going away to school and everything. I totally get it. I'm a college student myself. Those books get expensive. So
how much is the scholarships?
Now, I believe that we're going to do around the same amount as last year, so a couple hundred for each girl. I don't know the full details of that, unfortunately, but bringing a scholarship back is always a great idea for the girls.
Okay. Where's the pageant going to be at?
So it's going to be at Maniachi's again, which is where we've held the pageant the last few years. It's still completely open to the public. We love having more than just the girls, family, and friends come out. It's a great opportunity for the community to see what the past Miss Richmonds have been doing with the community and the future plans for the new crown Miss Richmond.
So how many years now have you been hosting the Miss Richmond pageant?
So this will be my 5th year hosting the pageant and helping out with the girls a little more backstage, which I was actually thinking about the other day, which seems crazy to me that it's been that long that I've been helping out with the pageant.
It hasn't been that long since you were Miss Richmond, correct?
Yeah, 2012. So it seems like a while ago, but it really isn't too far.
No, it isn't. Yeah, because I remember having you on for right before Good Old Days, because I always bring on all the Miss Richmond and her court for every year right before leading up to Good Old Days. So has your involvement with Good Old Days gotten a lot larger since you're no longer Miss Richmond?
Kind of. It's almost kind of like a family ordeal. Like once you're in, you're kind of welcome to help out as much as you like, or that they're willing to give you help with. And I think definitely since I've been helping with the pageant, it seems like every year there's a little something extra that they grace me with the honor of helping out with. They seem to really enjoy putting me in the dunk tank, which I got to get out of this year, luckily. But I'm sure Matt will find me sometime this year, and I'll be in the dunk tank again.
Of course. He always manages to find everyone.
He finds you, yeah.
I imagine that one day I'm even going to be in the dunk tank.
It's a rite of passage in the Richmond Good Old Days family. You have to make it in the dunk tank.
Oh, okay. So, are there any tickets to get? Do you need tickets to get into the Miss Richmond pageant?
So you don't have to pre-order tickets. We sell tickets at the door, which help with the Good Old Days fundraising, as well as helping out for stuff with the Miss Richmond pageant. I believe the tickets are only like $2 or $3, so bring like $20 and you got a big family, you're good to go.
And Georgetown Entertainment is going to be doing the music there and everything.
Yes, Georgetown Entertainment is going to come back again and help us with the music for the girls' dance and everything, and give me microphones that way all the people in the back can hear me and all that good stuff.
He always does a great job with all that. Anytime that I'm there and I have to record, I usually am able to just tap into him because he always does a great job.
He does.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today, Caitlyn.
Thank you.
So, hope to have you back on the show soon, or we'll see you at the during the Great Michigan Parade. During
You
the
know
Go
I love
Days.
my time with Preston. I'll be there.
Oh yeah. All right. The Miss Richmond Pageant is going to be on March 11th. Tickets are only $2 to $3. It's at Mount Yashi's Banquet Hall at 2 o'clock.